And we're going to hop right in here for round 4, the DWC Organizational, kicking things off. Looks like our Scorpion Sant has won the die roll. He's going to be on the play with his Mardu Knights deck. This one, got to ship that back. Only one land.
Keep this, though.
I like this hand.
Yeah.
For sure.
I would snap this one off. It's a little slow because of some issues, but, this is pretty powerful, right? You get
to start off with the red cap and then follow up with a Fervent Champion next turn, so not a bad start.
Yeah, we'll see what he could just lead with Champion, which is also fine. The benefit to playing the red cap first is your turn 2 attack
is for 3
damage.
For
3.
Yeah. This goose though,
and you kind of wish you'd done it now.
Yeah.
The other way, but it's okay now because we actually drew the untapped land. So really good draw. These inspiring veterans going to be doing some work here, actually.
Yeah. Having 2 of them is going to be really good. It's going to pump these knights up real fast and be pushing through a lot of damage. This goose no longer can play blocking duty here.
Yeah. Big deal, yeah. Birds of Paradise that can block.
Yeah.
Woof.
Blocks pretty well. Let's see if we have a turn 2 Oko on the other side of the field here.
Yeah, looking like it.
There it is.
Yep.
So
this, however, we can answer.
We can kill it right off the bat, actually.
Yeah.
We have a veteran to pump up the other 2 creatures into 3/3s, and then,
wow.
That's just a clean attack for 6, getting Oko off the board right away.
Well, this is a big board. So here, this is a powerful board. We're out of gas, but, we can draw something, if Scorpion draws something like an Embercleave here, this game could end really quickly.
I feel like if Scorpion finds an Embercleave off the top here, this game is going to end immediately.
I agree. An Embercleave off the top is lights out. This deck is so powerful. That's a beating.
Pretty good draw there. We get to turn this food into a 3/3, so we have some blockers. Another land off the top, not really what we're looking for here.
Yeah.
On the Mardu Knights side of things, but we still have some attacks. You can ship things. It really depends if you want to trade off a veteran for this food, right? We can get the Oko off the table if we ship with 4 creatures.
Yeah, we got to ship everything if we want to ensure Oko off the board. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, at this point, I think you have to, and then hope that your opponent doesn't have another land. So yeah, I don't mind this because you can threaten a pump on the Weasel back as well. Wait, that's not how.
It's interesting. Do it. We might actually just want to.
Embercleave?
By shocking in the land there, you're showing double activation.
Yeah. But I'm wondering how much it matters. If you're, because you're gonna go face.
I actually don't mind this. Just completely ignoring the Yoko and trying to push in as much damage as we can, because I'm assuming this 3/3 is gonna jump in front of a veteran, and then we can get 2 points of extra damage.
Yeah. No, this is actually really good. Just recognizing that, I don't have anything, and I can't just sit here and attack Okos over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this, and you get the Dork off the board too. This is actually pretty good. This actually puts you in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
Losing the veteran is a beating, especially because we don't have much else going on. But we still have attacks now, and if our opponent doesn't have a 4th land, we can push some damage.
Yeah, land coming into play tapped is pretty good for the Mardu Knight side of things. Oko really just makes a food here. And
they gain 3. It's basically gain 3, depending on what else they do with their mana this turn. But yeah, I mean, this is still a game where Embercleave off the top is lights out.
Yeah, and I mean, if we don't have another Goose or a Paradise Druid to block on the ground, you might actually just kill him next turn. I think we're looking at 10 damage on the board. We have the food activation, so we're going up to 12. So if we find another haste threat or the Embercleave, this game's over. Oh, that actually might be it.
We can pump because we can pump the red cap.
Yeah, so if we play this Fabled Passage pre-combat, get a land, we have 2 activations on the red cap, plus this extra 3 damage coming from the Fervent Champion. That's enough to kill your opponent if they have nothing.
Yeah, I think... Is this really just
I think this is lethal here.
Unless this deck is really good.
Darlaxle has a Brazen Borrower?
Yeah, Brazen Borrower could be... But then after that, I mean...
Well, no, even if you have the Brazen Borrower, you're still dead. As long as he spreads out these activations.
Yeah, he just needs to...
Because you might be forced to bounce the red cap.
Right, and then you go to 1.
Okay, yeah. So we're...
But I'm saying, now what, though? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because let's say that you definitely play the red cap again here, but let's say your follow-up is a Wicked Wolf. It doesn't matter. You're dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what...
The Borrower can't play defense here.
You make the food a 3/3, and you need 3 other blockers. I don't think there's an out here.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think this is Smork in chat.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we're searching for an answer here with the growth spiral, but I don't think there's anything we can realistically find.
No. Even the screen knows it's just flashing. Yeah, no, there's nothing you can do. Wow.
Yeah. All right, Mardu Knights taking game 1
Maul
here.
on the play.
Yeah.
Easy Smork. Yeah.
This deck is aggressive. It's here to prey on Golos, and it's here to prey on these food decks, I guess.
Yeah. So one thing I particularly enjoyed in watching this game, as opposed to watching the other mono red deck for example, was this Knights deck. It had a board and was able to synergize the inspiring veterans or equipment it has. It can make its early 1-drops powerful enough to fight through a 3/3, which really is what matters right now, it feels like, for these aggro decks. Whereas the mono red decks being stuck with simply a Scorch Spitter, for example, it feels like after a turn 3 or more, it's over. That creature can no longer attack, and the fervent champions out of mono red after that point become dead draws. Whereas in this deck, they still have a purpose, because the Simic food deck doesn't really wrath you, and so you can actually just play out your board and go wide and not get punished. Whereas going wide in mono red just doesn't matter when they keep making 3/3 food over and over again.
Yeah, totally.
My screen is really flickering.
Yeah, we're getting a little technical difficulty over here in the screen share. The joys of Discord screen share.
Yeah, it's not on our end. Although at least his cards are readable.
Yeah.
We've had some...
Totally. This hand, not bad.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. This hand's insane.
You have a 1-drop into a 2-drop. You have some interaction. You have the Embercleave. I think this...
Tournament Grounds only cast Knights or Knight and Equipment?
Knights and Equipment.
Yeah, I thought so. Ooh.
Land off the top is nice here.
Yeah. This hand is nice-oo.
It is.
Yeah. This hand is...
No turn 1 acceleration on the food side of things either, so...
Yeah, no, you're good to go.
No turn 2 acceleration either. We might have a growth spiral.
You got to play as Blood Crypt, I think, or possibly the Tournament Grounds. You can't play the Godless Shrine, I think, because you need to bank on eventually or soonish. I want to play this Embercleave, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to just have your mana be an issue, but I don't know, maybe. Should be fine. You're probably just flashing in this Blacklands Paragon, right?
Yeah, I don't mind going Tournament Grounds into flashing in the Paragon on end step. If your opponent goes a turn 3 Oko, then
just make them sack
we have it dead. Borrower here.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can also just Rimrock Knight and play Knight of the Ebon Legion the next turn. You have lots of options.
Yeah, so looks like our Simic Food player is passing the turn back, holding up 3 mana. Interesting there. We don't have a 3-mana Planeswalker. Maybe we're holding another Brazen Borrower, holding up some interaction.
Wants to play Brazen Borrower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is an interesting turn. You just serve first and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to say, I wonder if you should have played the Blood. So one line here that wasn't considered that I would have paused quite a while for, and I'm not sure, is to play the Blood Crypt untapped pre-combat and consider Rimrock Knighting. Because then when you play your Knight of the Ebon Legion, it's going to get a counter on it. So the decision this turn is, do I just want to push for 5 and get a 2/3? And then that's your turn. But it depends what else you want to do.
I don't mind this play of casting the Rimrock Knight and following up with the Knight of the Ebon Legion, because you're getting more creatures on the board for your Embercleave next turn.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why it's tough. It just depends on how long you want to go and how you want to approach this fight. But I think this is good because now we guaranteed basically have an Embercleave next turn.
Yeah.
And no matter what he plays here, we should be fine. Yeah, because even a Wicked Wolf, we're okay with this. We lose our knight. That sucks, but we get to Embercleave him, and he has no good blocks, and he's gonna block.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, because we're gonna play this Blood Grip on tapped, which is why I liked playing it earlier instead of the swamp, because now we're just telegraphing.
Yeah.
Right. The telegraphing on this I don't like. This is why I said, right, in turn 2, I said play this Blood Crypt now because it's gonna matter. And now we're sort of being punished in that turns later we don't have the sort of denial of knowledge to them. They know what's happening now, right? Deck lists are open. They know there's an Embercleave coming. But I mean, do you even have an?
So
what do you do though? You go to it would be 8, 11. You go to 3 if you don't block, and you lose your guy if you do. Man, Embercleave. Card's insane, man.
This is good. And we have a Rampage and a Noxious Grap lined up for next turn to take care of any blockers that come down in the way. So
and he blocked the Black Lance Paragon.
Yeah, it's not looking good for our food player here. This aggressive start followed up by the Embercleave is really looking tough to handle.
It doesn't have lifelink on itself. Sorry.
No, it's only when it enters.
Yeah. I was like, wait, his life didn't change. I'm crazy.
So we have a Nissa here, but
it doesn't do anything.
You're just dead. You're dead to the Embercleave. Dead on board.
Wowza.
That's all she wrote.
Hey, what did I say to Benson? What deck should I play? Embercleave.
Yeah.
I even wrote it like that in chat. Ember, period, cleave, period. Embercleave. 200 IQ on Scorpions on here. He played super well too on maximizing. Just really, like you said, played well to run out the Rimrock that way, right?
Yeah.
Didn't play for the slow game, just realized, you know what? He doesn't have any pressure. He doesn't have any way to answer this. I'm just going to kill him with Embercleave.
Exactly.
I drew the best card in my deck.
Yeah.
Just get him with it. Yeah, you're just toast.
I think there was a slight misstep last turn by not turning the breeding pool into a forest with that Nissa, just so we could hold up a Brazen Borrower.
If you draw it.
A Petty Theft if we had one, just to kind of give your opponent some pause there on whether we have just the win on board there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's...
that was an aggressive game.
That's the match.
Like I said, dude, Smorks in chat. That was, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a stomp. Let's see if anyone else is available. See if we can get a backup match going. Maybe just call up, we'll see if we can get a call up K-Chains here. See if we can get a backup match going while we're just chatting. But yeah, the Mardu Knights deck just absolutely running roughshod over Simic Food that game. It's funny because watching Simic Food earlier in the day versus aggro decks, we watched it versus Mono Blue Tempo. We watched it versus Mono Red Aggro. It stomped. It looked unfair. Well, against the Mardu Knights deck, they got rolled. Yeah. Rimrock Knight, though, doing some work out there. It looked really good, but a lot of it, man, is just Embercleave. If that card gets on the board while you're already exerting pressure, blocks become impossible, and it pushes damage past the blocks. So you go from trading to you just kill their creature and they take damage instead. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's basically what's the card I'm looking for? Like you kill something and they take damage. What cards am I thinking of? Basically Kavu or something. It's insane. Yeah. Pretty wild though. Yeah. Big fan. I can't wait to, like I said, man, I can't wait to get home and play some Embercleave decks. Because 4 mana for an equipment like that doesn't seem that good. But when you watched it that game, it was literally, it went from my 3/1 trading with a Wicked Wolf to my creature killing their Wicked Wolf and they take 5 actually. That's bananas. So really impressive. Every time we've seen Embercleave today, it's been absurd. We watched it versus Bant Reclamation.
Yeah, it's super
where
just lock punch.
We want to get him to mute there.
Yeah, I let him know. We've got a backup feature coming in right now.
Yeah, let him know his mic's hot. Okay, we're gonna jump right into a backup game here. The quality on this is pretty good actually.
Yeah, we're jumping over to social media manager Benson playing Simic Food. Looks like he's up a game in this match, facing down Vivian and an Oko on the other side of the board, though.
Yeah, this might
That's
be close.
Pretty big goose, 5-5 goose.
That goose is loose.
The most loose goose we've seen on stream so far.
That's the loosest goose. No one's cooking that thing.
No way. Wicked Wolf coming down on this other side of the board, gonna pick off.
You sacrifice 2 foods.
Yeah, picking off
That's
this
actually
Hydroid
sick.
Crisis. Yeah,
That is actually sick. Man, Wicked Wolf.
yeah. It looks like we came in just in time to watch Benson get crumpled before Game 3. So
Well, this is great. This is perfect timing
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
backup match. That Wicked Wolf, though. Hungry little fella. Eating all the food. Getting huge. I know a little something about that.
yeah. So we're gonna throw 2 counters on this goose or this Hydra, and we're gonna be crashing in for 9 points of damage. And looking at a Paradise Druid and an Oko Thief of Crowns in Benson's hand, it's not looking
They're
too
not
good.
going to do anything. Yeah. I mean, you keep the counters if you make these things.
Yeah. It's awkward because both these creatures have trample, so you're only soaking up 2 damage by jumping with this goose here.
Yeah, if you make them 3/3s, they still have counters.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
It just doesn't. Yeah, Vivian in these mirrors seems actually really good because of the Oko thing, right? If they make it through, that's how that works, right? You keep your counters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, notably, if you turn Nissa lands into Elks, they become 6/6s. If you turn a Voracious Hydra into an Elk, it becomes a 3/3 plus with however many counters it had on it. It's when you knock a Hydroid Crisis out of the sky, it becomes huge, but it's no longer a Flampler. So
Yeah, it doesn't fully have Flample.
you win some, you lose some, but
Yeah, it's a trade-off, strikes and gutters, ups and downs.
So now we've got Benson on the play going into Game 3. I think as Benson, you're really looking for a Gilded Goose start and trying to get out onto the board. And
as the Simic food player, you want to have some food to start.
Yeah, and I mean, you're in the mirror match here. You kind of need that acceleration.
Yeah, this is also okay because you have Once Upon a Time, so you can try and find the Mana Dork right off the bat. It's a Temple of Mystery, so you'll just end up taking a Paradise Druid off of it.
It's awkward, though.
I would have kept that hand on the play.
You think so?
100%. I think it's okay. You can't always mull to 1 of 4 cards. That was way too greedy. You had a Once Upon a Time. That hand was very good otherwise.
Yeah, it's just the hand didn't do much, right?
Sure. Well, okay, not very good, but you can play, and the Once Upon a Time makes it okay. I would have kept it. Now look at this though. Like
he's gonna keep
this is way
one.
worse.
Yeah. I mean, you have an Aether Gust if your opponent goes Goose into Oko.
Yeah,
so you can set your opponent back, and then hopefully you can top deck your own Oko and get on the board before they do. You're still in an awkward position now, though.
Yeah, this is tough. I think you should have. See, the thing is, though, I'm not very averse to casting 2/2 Hydras early. Like, I'll cast a 2/2 Crisis early just as a cycler because I think it actually matters right now in Standard to just have the flyer in the air because of Oko and all these planeswalkers that you just want to attack in the air.
Temple of Mystery, really good sign for Benson here, as
there's no Oko. Probably.
He doesn't have to face down the turn 2 Oko, and now he gets to hold up Aether Gust and this top deck Disdainful Stroke for a 4 mana play coming across.
Which
it
is 100% a 4 mana play. There's no Oko in that hand. Oh, what is happening here?
Maybe the opponent not wanting to play into the counter spell.
This is all right. We got ourselves a game. We got a couple of gamers over here.
It's a good draw for getting the goose off the top here because as Benson, you don't want to be casting the Questing Beast or the Wicked Wolf into this 4 open mana. And you get to get out onto the board, make a food, and still hold up your counter spells.
Yeah. This is... I thought it was probably a Brazen Borrower. But you don't know what he boarded in. We didn't see... We didn't see what was boarded in on the other side because we're just screen sharing from one side, so it's tough to say. But yeah, you just take it here.
Borrower really good for the opponent here because you get to play at that instant speed. You still get to hold up counter spells if you have it and be chipping in for 3 damage a turn, kind of putting the onus on Benson to start developing his own board.
Yeah, absolutely. Brazen Borrower is a card I think is actually quite good in these matchups because you have a hard time answering certain permanents and certain planeswalkers and certain things, and it just can give you a tempo swing. And like I said, playing flyers in the air in this matchup matters.
Yeah,
because you want to get because you can't attack through and past Questing Beasts.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to. Is that card just kind of trades with everything.
Yeah. So this top decked island here, pretty good for Benson because he gets to deploy his Questing Beast while still holding up 2 mana with the Goose in the island for a gust or a stroke.
Yeah.
Looks like the opponent might have a Petty Theft to gonna bounce that Questing Beast back to hand.
Oh, wow.
And gonna deploy their second Brazen Borer on the end step and really putting the pressure on Benson.
Yeah, this is
an interesting play here. I don't know if you want to gust this.
Yeah, I don't
Goose.
think you gust it because he just floats the mana and casts it anyway.
Yeah. Looks like Benson has figured that one out as well.
Just cancels, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a problem. You're actually, well, your Wicked Wolf can help.
You do have a wolf, so next turn you can pick off one of the borrowers out of the air.
But then that means this turn you can't Disdainful Stroke or you lose your food. So all your Wicked Wolf is doing is trading. You know what I mean? This is a tough.
You would need to get a land off the top to be able to have that play.
Yeah. This is a really tough decision point because, yeah, those Brazen Boar, you are facing down some damage.
It's a lot of damage coming in the air, and like you have a Goose, but that's just a chump block for one turn, and you don't really want to throw your Goose away right now. You're kind of hoping for Kyle on the other side of the board there to play a 4 or 5 mana play so you can get this stroke out of your hand and then untap and throw a Wicked Wolf down into a tapped out opponent.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is. I think these Brazen Borrowers are going to tempo this out.
Yeah, they're kind of running away with it now, and the clutch bounce in the early turns there.
Okay, that helps.
You found the land.
That's step one. Step one was you need this land because you need to be able to sacrifice your food. It's. I'm actually not sure. You might not need to. Maybe do you need to sacrifice the food for life? It's close. Yeah.
Well, you have your Goose up now, so if your opponent doesn't play into the counter spells, you can just make another food, and you still have that engine going. You know, Benson assembling the Wicked Wolf Gilded Goose engine here is going to be really good for him.
Yeah.
If you have a 4 or 5 mana play locked up already with the Disdainful Stroke, so if it looks like his opponent is just kind of drawing lands off the top, so you might be able to claw back in this game now. You have a Questing Beast lined up for next turn with the protection still if your opponent doesn't play into the strokes. So
yeah, really patient play on these Disdainful Strokes and Gusts. You know, he could have used them for worse. He almost did.
Well, yeah, he could have used the Gust earlier, decided best of it. He hasn't actually seen a 4 or 5 mana play yet. From the opponent, so the Stroke's just kind of been sitting in his hand.
I mean, I feel like this is a card that's going to come in very, very handy, probably right now. See if I can read the future on this one. Does the Simic Food deck play a powerful 4 or 5 drop?
Yeah, I mean, if we see a Hydra, this is a good target. Here we go. We see the Hydra coming down.
You got to counter this.
It's interesting. Do you Gust it or do you Stroke it? Do you want to just reset the draw step so you know what's coming next turn?
I think you reset it because you want to buy, because you kind of want to buy time because you want to start just making food, but you also kind of need to play your Questing Beast. It's tough.
Yeah.
I would probably just Stroke it and get it out of the way.
Well, the problem is if you Gust it, you're kind of locked into having to Stroke it next turn, and I think you want to use your extra 2 mana next turn to make a food with your Goose.
Yeah.
Because you're going to play the Questing Beast, you're going to attack, but then that 2 mana, you don't really want to use it for a counter spell if you don't have to.
Yeah, because you're just going to do it anyway. So just Stroke it.
So if you Gust here, you're kind of locking yourself into the Stroke next turn, so which is what we're going to see this pattern.
Yeah,
here.
I'm not sure I like this either. Yeah, because now you're just going to ultimately use the Disdainful Stroke on it, right?
Yeah. You're locked into the Stroke next turn, so you don't just die, and
Because what if you just Disdainful Stroke it and his draw is a land?
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Then you get to play. Activate your Goose. You have a food and you have 3 life you can gain because you're going to be getting attacked again with this Brazen Borer next turn. You're going down to 3,
and then you also still get to have the food up, right? Yeah. I think this is
a bit of a messed up here. Yeah.
I think it's just too cute. Like I think it's trying to next level the opponent. Although
it really depends though. If
what if he bottoms because he doesn't want to redraw?
Yeah. It's interesting. You might want to redraw though, because then you're setting yourself up to pick the Goose off out of the air.
Yeah, I would just pick it up. Well, that's a good one.
Oh.
You just make the food and kill the borrower. But we put the thing on top, so now we If we had just Disdainful stroked it, we could have played Wicked Wolf.
Yeah.
And killed his Brazen Borrower.
Yeah.
And now we're just locked into Disdainful stroking again.
Yeah. See, this is the line that
it's just getting so punished.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got the best possible draws, but I think he's still in okay shape, but that we should be far ahead.
Yeah.
As opposed to this, we're walking the line because of how we played with this Voracious Hydra.
You know, it still might work out though, because your opponent's gonna cast the Hydra. You get to stroke it. You're only going down. Ooh, okay. So you're getting the stroke out here. We know there's a Hydra the next turn. So now you're going to take 3 from the Borrower. The 2/1 can no longer attack. You have the Questing Beast locking that up. Your opponent's going to have 2 foods at the end of the turn. You have your Wicked Wolf lined up. So this is interesting.
They might just play a 4/5 or whatever here, right?
Yeah. Do you just play the 4/5?
Well, because then you can't get attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Right, by Wicked Wolf. They'll just attack with Questing Beast and you trade.
Yeah.
So I think his logic, I thought so. So this actually ends up working out. The Aether Gust ends up working out in the long run here in some ways, because this is actually good for you because, he fights. That's not what I expected. So I thought that he would, because now this can't block. Like, it just has to chump the Wicked Wolf. Oh man, this game is just a razor's edge.
Krasis a good pickup here. So now we get to Wicked Wolf away this Brazen Borrower. You have to trade it 1-for-1 because you no longer have the Goose to be able to make a food and gain life. Unless you decide to play the Krasis for 2 here. Leaving the Wolf back on defense makes sense to me. You don't want to get cheesed out by something off the top.
Yeah, no.
You pick that Borrower off out of the air, and now the board's looking pretty good. If we don't see a good top deck here from Kyle, I think Benson's going to run away with it with this Hydroid Krasis.
Yeah, it's close. This game is just a razor's edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of interesting decisions made this game. Wow,
that was getting the concession.
Wow,
Benson taking it down 2-1.
That was a close game. Really close game.
Yeah. Those Simic food decks are definitely interesting mirror matches to watch for sure.
Yeah,
Very
no
swingy.
doubt. Yeah, never going to complain about a mirror match for that deck. It's not like a Golos mirror match where you're like, ugh, God, make it stop.
Yeah.
But, it just feels like EDH. But the Simic food mirror matches, there were a lot of decisions there because there's quite a bit of interaction in it. I think that those turns really mattered.
Yeah. That I mean, going back to that Aether Gust play, that was a really
It ended up working out really, really well. I mean, he probably just long conned him. He's out there playing 4D chess.
Benson playing a 4D chess. We're just here, following along.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So we're
I think we're pretty close to the end of the round here.
Yeah, we're partway through this round here.
See who's left. How many rounds we got left in the second?
Yeah, one more round to go before we cut to our top 8. Let's